Ladies and or green flavored, why is it green? And or gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Zeno, and I wanted to do a bit of just a small short discussion video on Ciaccona and Cartethyia, because I haven't seen many people talk about this. I saw my boy Kydro made a video on this, and I saw this. I've just gotten home from work only like a couple hours ago, and I haven't seen much of this floating online, so maybe I just haven't looked in the right places, but Cartethyia and Ciaccona, I mean, we're kind of already assuming they are going to be 5-star resonators that we can actually summon and gather in Woowa, but they have actually kind of already been revealed like 5 days ago as 5 stars just on the Japanese Twitter, and I didn't know this, and I've not seen anyone else talk about this, so I think that's kind of exciting. But I also just wanted to kind of speculate on the kits of maybe the characters just upcoming, because they are going to probably be anniversary characters. I believe Cartethyia will definitely be an anniversary character regardless, just because she's going to be very popular, very hype. But and I have just some very basic loose ideas of what I think their kits might be, just based on some of the stuff that we have in game. So I kind of wanted to talk about it. So again, this is going to be a video that's all over the place, but bear with me. But let's just jump in. So I was looking through my YouTube subscriptions, and my boy Kydro TV, shout out to him. He did a video here, and it was new 5 stars confirmed, and it's like Ciaccona 5-star revealed and new zone teased. There's also a bit of a new zone in that video, so I'll leave this video linked if you want to check out what his thoughts are. I actually quite like Kydro. But he pointed towards the Japanese Twitter, and about 4 or 5 days ago, the Japanese Twitter actually put out like a picture of Ciaccona and Cartethyia with the 5-star symbol next to their name and their different voice actors as well. And I'm like, that's interesting. Why would there be a 5-star symbol next to their names unless they're going to be obviously 5-star characters? Now, again, it's pretty obvious. Cartethyia and Ciaccona, they're going to be summonable characters. I mean, you can just look at their outfits, look at their designs. They're clearly just, you know, not a normal NPC character. But I have some ideas and thoughts, because I was talking about this in the Discord, which is also linked in the description down below, the other day with someone else in one of the channels about the idea of Ciaccona's kit and Cartethyia's kit, and just kind of what they're going to be doing potentially in the future with them. So I have some thoughts, I have some ideas, and so we'll just bring up, so Ciaccona, our new Thigh's wife. So here are some of the thoughts and ideas I have about this character. Now, we know we saw her in the 2.2 story that just finished, and by the way, shout out to everyone that watched my 2.2 review video. That's gotten quite a lot of views for me, so people seem to really like it, so thank you a lot for that. That's amazing. Whereas I'm clicking the wrong buttons. Yes. So our new Thigh's wife. Now, we know she's a bit of a bard style character, right? So, and she has like a musical instrument that she plays and that allows you to relive memories. So I'm like, okay, so she's a bard style character. She's green. She's probably aero. Let's be honest. She's probably an aero character. She might not be, but I do believe she's going to be a support, just because we've only had one single support in the entire game, a 5-star limited support in the entire game since it's released, and that's Shorekeeper. I think it's about time we got another one. So I think she's going to be either a support for aero and aero erosion characters, or she's just going to be a generalized support. And bard type characters, and she does say she's kind of like a bard type character. She goes around and does like singing and stuff like that. I think she said that. They typically focus on music and like buffing music and magic, and buffing and debuffing like allies and enemies. And I think that's something that I think it's pretty clear if you pay attention to some of the characters that we've been getting recently, that Kuro is heading in the direction of more of buffs and debuffs. Now, they did just rework the whole debuff system, and we haven't really had any characters except for the Spectro with Spectro Frazzle, and that would be Spectro Rover. He or she can inflict Spectro Frazzle, which does a little bit of like damage over time. I haven't actually looked into all the different ones for each element, like Havoc and Fusion, stuff like that in Glacio. But Aero Rover is the new path that just came out in the new story chapter of 2.2, and they can transform debuffs into erosion debuffs. Now, that sounds great, but right now we don't have any characters for that. So I 100% believe in the coming month or two, or at least the anniversary characters, 1 or 2 of them are probably going to be focusing on buffs and debuffs. Now, the way I look at Ciaccona is I think she's going to be ranged magic attacks. I'm thinking she's going to be using a rectifier or a sword, but let's be honest, she's going to be using her ukulele friggin' thing, whatever it is. I don't know. That's probably definitely not what that thing was, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Forgive me. Or just a sword, but it's actually the thing that she like uses in battle. I feel like she'll be doing AoE damage, but like I don't think she'll be doing much damage. I think she's more going to be like just doing like basic AoE, inflicting buffs or debuffs, and using one of those 2 weapons. I think she's going to now. By the way, I should just mention this. I don't discuss leaks on the channel. You guys know that if you're not new to the channel, I don't discuss leaks. I don't usually do discussion videos like this where I speculate, but I'm lucky that there is no information floating out in Dreamland right now about these characters that I know of. So this is a purely fun speculatory video, which I'm really happy to do because I don't get to do it very often because with all the information that floats out there, it becomes very hard to make discussion videos without pretending like you don't know what's out there. It makes it kind of hard. So I think she's going to have 2 different stances. And I think she's going to be like Phoebe's Absolution and Confession mode. Now, Phoebe was a stance character. Off the top of my head, I don't think we have another stance character, but again, I could be wrong because I've only been playing for a couple of months and I only have a couple of characters. But Phoebe has like a DPS mode, and then she has a debuffing mode where she inflicts like Spectrofragile up to 10 stacks really quickly and she swaps off. And the DPS mode, she does like 4 heavy attacks, and then her blue debuffing stance, I forget which one it is, Absolution or Confession, she does debuffs. She only has 2 heavy attacks. I think Ciaccona, being like a bard type character, and bards typically focus on music and magic, buffing, debuffing, I feel like she might be like that, like Phoebe. She has 2 different stances. One is she buffs, like she buffs the party. I'm not sure what type of buffs. And the other one, she'll be doing debuffs. So the types of buffs could be just some basic party buffs. Like I just discussed, we don't have another limited 5-star support. Now, I don't think she's going to be a pure support like Verena or Shorekeeper is, for example, but I do believe she will be maybe a small generalistic support, or at the very least, she'll be a support that I think she'll be... See, as I'm speaking now, I'm changing my mind. This is why I should probably script my videos. But I'm thinking like she might have some maybe just basic elemental buffs for the party, so that way anybody can use her in general. So I've written down like elemental or arrow. So arrow because I believe she'll be an arrow unit and you want to be using her with like arrow rover and probably Cartethyia. But I'm thinking maybe she does some basic elemental buffs, so that way you can actually use her in other teams if you don't want to use her in arrow. Or maybe just a basic damage amp on top of that. Or I'm thinking she has a debuffing stance where she actually inflicts a debuff, or I'm not sure what type of debuff. It could be a general debuff, it could be just like a slow, it could be just like a defense down, something like that. I don't believe there's many debuffs in the game from my knowledge anyway. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. God forbid I do research before I hit the damn record button. But I believe that her buffs would be kind of generalistic, like an elemental damage buff, so anybody can use her. And her debuffs will be, again, kind of generalistic, so that way anybody can use her if they don't want to use her in a specific arrow team. So that way everyone can benefit from her, or if you want to put her in a team with like Arrow Rover, because Arrow Rover specifically makes debuffs into arrow erosion. So I think that way you can pair them together. So I think that'll be really interesting. I think she'll be a stance character. I have zero knowledge of this. This is just speculation, but bards typically buff, debuff. Anyway, you get the point. So, and this is everything the debuff where she inflicts a debuff. I said most likely area erosion to trigger the echo set because it's an area erosion echo set, but I feel like it'll actually be more generalistic. But, and then that'll allow Rover to just consume the buffs, turn them into arrow erosion if you want to use it for the arrow team, give it to Cartethyia to consume or use for damage. And yeah, as I said, we don't even have a second 5-star support in the game until like, well, it's been like a year since the game's about to have come out. We're about to hit anniversary in a month in May. So yeah, that's what I think Ciaccona's going to do. She's a bard. She does like some very basic damage. I don't think she's going to be doing much damage at all. Maybe like a sub DPS or something like that, but maybe even lower damage than a sub DPS would. Like not like a Brant or a Cantarella or a Rucia. Someone that does a lot less damage but does better buffs. So you can use her in potential elemental teams just across the board, or you can use her in the arrow teams. And then it's just got someone else in the comments of that tweet over on JP Twitter. It's just got like, this is the voice actor, Akumi Hasegawa. And she's, I know a couple of these characters, but not too many of them. The Freerin Ubel from Freerin, most people will probably know her there. But yeah, so she's a cool voice actor. So the second character is Cartethyia. Now, so Cartethyia, our new wife. Now, I think she's going to be Aero as well. There's many reasons for that. I think she's going to be Aero because she's going to partner with Rover, because Rover basically uses Cartethyia in his sword, or her sword. So I think that's what she's going to be. I think also just because we've only had one other premium 5-star like DPS style Aero character, and that was Gian. And I believe he was the very first banner in the game when it launched. So if she comes out an anniversary, that's literally 1 year later. I think it's okay to power creep the very first character in the game damage wise a year later. I think that's more than fine. And she might not even like full on, like, you know, quote unquote power creep, but you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to release another Aero DPS that functions a bit differently, uses different teammates. I think that's more than fine. I think she's going to be a transformation character. Kind of like how I think Ciaccona is going to follow Phoebe's path, where she has two different stances. I think Cartethyia is going to be a transformation character because Fleur-de-Lis she's kind of got the powers of both now that the... I won't say story spoilers in case you haven't played the story, but at the end of the story, it's pretty clear that she now has the powers of both Fleur-de-Lis. I always forget how to pronounce her name. I'm just going to say Fleur. Fleur's powers and Cartethyia. So I think she's going to be a transformation character because with like amazing animations where the base form is Cartethyia and she has like a sword, and then she uses her liberation and she transforms into Fleur-de-Lis. She consumes Aero stacks, or maybe she inflicts them on the base form and then consumes them on her like big woman form. And she does like big damage and she swaps off and you go about your rotation again. I don't think she's going to be particularly... Because I think she's going to be one of the stars of the anniversary, because I do believe she will be releasing in the anniversary, I don't think they will make her too mechanically hard. I think they will make her fairly easy to play. So I really feel like she'll be pretty simple. She'll be a swap in, use her base form, maybe you get like a buff up or something from a skill, whatever it is, and then or forte. And then she inflicts some Aero stacks if you haven't got max Aero stacks from maybe using Aero Rover. And then she transforms, she does all these fancy attacks in her like really big form. She consumes Aero erosion debuffs, and then boom, she swaps. I think she's going to be a pretty simple character to play, but I think she'll be very flashy, and that's just to sell her on anniversary, so new people coming in can pick her up, and she'll be easy to play, she'll be very flashy, she'll sell for sure. I think her weapon's going to be just a normal sword, because Cartethyia herself is like a really small petite character, and I can't see her wielding a giant greatsword. Now, I know that the Echo set itself, which is where the Echo set itself, like, it's actually Fleur-de-Lis's weapon. And if you actually have a look as well, like, look at the Echo skill, it says... I can't zoom in anymore, apparently. It says equipping this Echo in the main slot grants Aero damage bonus. If equipped in the main slot by Rover Aero or question mark. It's pretty clear that's going to be Cartethyia, and it would make a lot of sense that she can use Fleur-de-Lis's Echo as like the main forecast. That just makes too much sense to me. So... I think that's what she's going to be. She is going to be a transformation character. She'll use liberation. I think she'll have a small sword, and then when she's in a big form, she'll have a big sword. I think she'll be a close quarters combat character. And I can maybe see the Fleur-de-Lis form having like some AoE strikes or long-range attacks, just because in the final battle against Rover, there was a lot of attacks where she was doing like some more AoE attacks, and she had a couple of swords she could use. She's the second Echo set holder, as I just said, because in the description there's literally an unreleased unit, and I definitely think that's going to be her. And I also just think story and lore wise, she's going to be Aero Rover's DPS, and this reminds me of the whole Firefly and Trailblazer, Harmony Trailblazer from Honkai Star Rail. Firefly was a character with a new type of game mechanic, Super Break, but she didn't do it very well. You had to use another character to kind of enable that mechanic so she could actually function as a unit in game, and they kind of completely tied that to the main character Trailblazer and their brand new path. So I think Cartethyia is going to be the same thing, not quite the same in the same sense. Like, I think she will function fine by herself, but I do think Aero Rover is meant to be kind of like a best-in-slot style character, because just also just story and lore reasons, just like the connection that they had throughout the story. So I just think that's really interesting. So I definitely, it just reminds me of Firefly and Trailblazer. Like, Firefly is my favorite Hoyo character. I'm not even going to show you all the merch of Firefly I have, but that's beside the point. I totally do not have an $800 statue of Firefly coming soon. Oh god. But I think that's what Cartethyia is going to be. She's going to be a transformation character. She's going to consume aero stacks. She's going to have the Flora Delis big form. She's going to be super flashy, easy to play. She'll sell as an animation, as an anniversary character. I think Ciaccona is going to be a support. Maybe a generalistic support, but you can slap her in. And my dream team at this stage, because I don't have a single aero character summoned or built, so for me would be Ciaccona. Hopefully she's like, I don't know, given to for free in the anniversary. That'd be really nice, Kuro. Wink, wink, please. And or just if she's maybe the first half or something. And so that way, I think she'll be free, to be honest, actually. Like, there's been some rumors, but I honestly think, like, Kuro's given away a 5-star before, and I wasn't a part of it, so sadly I've missed out. But I think if they gave away a generalistic support for people that come in or come back to the game, that'll really sell. And then, of course, then you have Cartethyia, you have Rover, it's a cute little picture of Rover. And then I think that'll be like a dream team for me. And all of a sudden, you've got a free character and hopefully Ciaccona. You've got Rover being obviously free as well, and we can hopefully get more copies of the weapon and their sequence nodes. And then you have Cartethyia as the big bang anniversary character, and all of a sudden the majority of people are like, well, if I get Cartethyia and spend my Astrite or spend my money, I've got an aero team all of a sudden out of nowhere for free. So I think that's what I would like to see. That's what I think the characters will do. I don't know how long this video is. It says I've been recording for 20 minutes. That's really bad, considering this is a very off-the-cusp discussion video. So I will wrap it up. This is Cartethyia's voice actor, Yu Asakawa. She was Ryder in the Fate series. I know her from Ikitosen, Shiryu from Ikitosen. Just shout out to anyone that ever watched that. Oh my god, that's like 15, 20 years ago. I was young. Not a show I should have been watching. Not a show. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I'll just leave it there. A bit of a speculation video. Sorry I didn't put down my thoughts on paper very well. But I'm excited because this basically confirms they are 5-star characters. Now, this doesn't confirm, like they might not be, but I'm pretty positive they're gonna be. There's no way they're not. So anyway, let me know what you think. If what your ideas are maybe for the character kits. Do you have any speculations? Do you have any ideas? What would you like them to do? Yeah, I'm interested to see people's thoughts before everything else starts popping off in the next month or so before anniversary, and we get, obviously there'll be more details floating around, and hopefully the live stream in about 3-4 weeks from now. So yeah, but I'm excited. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there. Yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, remember to like the video so YouTube doesn't suck. Subscribe if you're new, join the Discord, support me as a member of the channel, blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna go. I've barely taken a breath in like 20 minutes now. Okay, I'll just leave the video there. So thank you very much for watching and or listening, and as always, my name is Zeno. These are our 2 new wives now. And you guys take care now.